President Mnangagwa is seeking to take advantage of South Korea's strong agriculture foundation in addressing Zimbabwe's food security situation. The president has met his South Korean counterpart, President Hong Seok-yeol, discussing the issue ahead of the South Korea-Africa Summit, which started today. Deputy Chief Secretary in the President's Office, George Charamba, said it was crucial for Zimbabwe to engage their host on the matter with a view to strengthen irrigation programs, mechanization, and development of new seed varieties.
Foremost was the area of agriculture. You know, South Korea is, in fact, a very strong agricultural proposition in Southeast Asia, specializing in different varieties of rice and other small grains. So essentially that's one area where we thought Zimbabwe could benefit in the triple sense of not just the production of grains, but also development of irrigation, as well as the creation of the means with which to, as it will, work on agriculture. And we're talking here about mechanization. I think you may recall that not too far back, Zimbabwe used to get some tractors from South Korea, the Kyoto model.
The ANC has lost a parliamentary majority and will need coalition partners to surpass 50% of votes to form a government. After all the ballots were counted in South Africa, the ANC received only 40.18% of votes in Wednesday's election. Following the IEC's announcement of the 2024 results, certain procedural steps must be taken for South Africa to form a government. Now, these include the newly elected National Assembly must hold its first sitting within 14 days of the election results, where members are sworn in and the Speaker is elected. The National Assembly elects the President of South Africa during the first sitting or soon after that. The President is then responsible for appointing the cabinet and then forming the government. The entire process is usually completed within a few weeks to ensure a smooth power transition. We now cross over to our analyst, Ranga, to discuss the current South African situation further and just get more insights and analysis on that. Ranga, good evening to you. Now, South Africa's current president, 71-year-old Cyril Ramaphosa, has indicated that he will not resign following the ANC's poor performance at the polls. What does he need to do in order to be re-elected?
Yeah, I don't think he needs to do much because, mind you, ANC is still the majority party in South Africa. You might be also be aware that ANC managed to have more than 50% of the votes in 5 of the 9 provinces. That tells you how popular the party is. However, in terms of what he needs to do, he simply needs to find partners in the other parties. It might be DA, it might be EFF, it might be MK, in order for him to be re-elected. From where I'm standing, I think that the majority ANC members would want him to continue, so he doesn't need really to do a lot because the depreciation in terms of voters that occurred in this election is also a collective responsibility of the ANC, despite President Ramaphosa being the leader of the ANC. So I don't think the blame should be just be given to one individual. I think it was a collective, effort, and I think he doesn't need to do much. He would have to find partners in the other parties in order to form the next government. So I think the odds are still in ANC's favor. The odds are still in President Cyril Ramaphosa's favor, and I'm sure, given his background and experience in negotiations, he will be able to strike a pact with one or two of the opposition parties.
Now, Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare Minister July Moyo has indicated that the registration of people in urban areas eligible to receive the monthly government cash allowances to buy meal has started. This is one of the many initiatives being undertaken by government to address food insecurity in the country. Under that particular program, there will be conditional cash transfers to the urban households where there are food insecure and labor-constrained urban households. The developments come at a time when authorities have started the distribution of food aid to save 9 million lives from hunger. Italy-based Warriors defender Jordan Zemura became the latest player to join the Warriors camp in South Africa after linking up with the rest of the squad in Johannesburg on Monday. Zemura arrived a day after the initial batch of local and foreign-based players arrived in Sandton on Sunday. He had stayed back in Zimbabwe to launch his Jordan Zemura Academy over the weekend.
Konapo, Ipapo pa ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.